G'day, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to step you through how to build, plan, and program your habits to make you live a healthier life and show you what I take all of my clients through. So what I'm going to be showing you in this video is time budget and management, calorie tracking and nutrition planning, program basics and what progressive loading is, and then what kind of measurements and data you should be taking. So why do we start with time budget and management? It's usually because this is the biggest hurdle to start your journey. So you're probably familiar with not spending more money than you make. Well, time budgeting is the same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out where you spend all of your time and then try and figure out where we can cut out some things to fit in training or fit in nutrition planning or fit in all of those healthy habits that you've wanted to start for many, many months now, I'm sure. So how do we do that with your time? Well, let's jump into a spreadsheet and we'll go through it step by step together. So here is a basic spreadsheet. We've got days along the top and times down the side. Let's put all of our big things in first. So things like work, and we'll put this across all the days. Commute, if you still do commute in and out of work. Then we can fit in any current training sessions when we go to sleep as well. So I know for me, I am usually up at 6 and I'm in bed by 10. Now, if you've got a great memory, you can fill all this in right now. But if you're kind of like me and you forget where you've got things, or maybe your week does change week to week and you need to adjust in a fortnightly schedule or a monthly schedule, then just take this spreadsheet and do it for the next couple of weeks and fill in your time with the generic time buckets that we have. Put in as much detail as you want. Now, if you don't have time to train because this is full, you either have essentially two choices. Either leave this the same and probably die of a preventable disease at 50, or we can probably cut some of the shit out that's not going to make you live longer and sub in the training. Remember, this doesn't have to be from nothing to 6 days a week. If you're faffing about doing absolutely nothing, then it's probably a good idea to ease into it. Maybe start with carving out time for half-an-hour walks each day. And then after a week or two, add in 2 one-hour sessions of training. This whole process is about building sustainable habits. All right, so you're a week in and you've walked 4 out of 7 days that you said you were going to do. You've looked at the used dumbbells on Marketplace and submitted the "Are these still available?" question to at least 3 different sellers, and they've replied and you haven't followed up. The dumbbells could be a big commitment, so let's move on to nutrition first. Number one step in doing this is download MyFitnessPal. Whatever you eat, add it to the app. If you're out and you don't know exactly what's in your meal, just give it a rough estimate. So if you go out to a pub for dinner and you're having a beef burger, just type beef burger, pick something that looks approximate. Maybe there's a weight, or you will get used to it and you can pick based on the calories of what you think's in it, or look at the ingredients that are in your burger and add them in all separately. I know this seems like a lot to start with, but trust me, the more you do it, the easier this gets. And any coach you go to will make you do food tracking in some way. This is the only way that we're going to track specifically if you want to achieve the goal of weight loss or putting muscle on. We need to know at least the macros and calories that are going into our bodies to help design programs to make you reach those goals in essentially the time that you want to reach them in. So you can kind of see this is another accounting motif. We count the calories and macros going in, and we want to make sure that we're not taking in more than we're expending. And there's formulas to do all that, but it's all about tracking. And just as a little snippet here, the energy that we expend is just from living. So waking up, walking around, breathing, eating, all of that expends energy. And we're basing some of those calculations off that, which is well documented in scientific literature, but we're using that as a base principle and then going from there. And it's a test and adjust over time. So it's not you're going to be on these calories and we stick with them, we do look at it week to week and adjust. But you can go online, find a macro calculator, calculate this yourself by entering in things like your biological sex, height, weight, and age, and that'll give you a starting point. So to cap all this off, what I would do is track your food for 2 weeks at least, and then go to a macro calculator online, enter in those details that I said, select maintenance weight, and see what calories you're meant to be on, and then compare that to where you're at. What I would first do is try and get your calories as close to the maintenance as possible. Do that for 2 to 4 weeks, and then look at going back to the calculator and selecting minus 10% for weight loss, if that's what you want to achieve. And then try and adjust your calories down to that weight, track your weight over time and see how you go. This is essentially the approach all coaches will take when you're first starting out a journey with them. So it's something that you can do now without having to spend that money. So based on my experience, I find people are in 2 camps. You're either eating too much food, which is why you want to lose weight, or you're trying to lose weight and you're eating too little. And when we start pushing people up to eating more protein and back towards still their deficit, but an amount of calories that's healthy for them, they actually start to see an improvement of putting on more muscle and the fat loss starts to happen. And we get that body transformation. So if you're already at the stage where you're eating 600 calories below your maintenance, still consider upping your calories to somewhere around your maintenance calories based on those calculators. You'll find a surprising difference. So all of this is just about consistency, and it's all pretty easy once you get down to it. It's just getting into the habits of tracking and eating the foods that you should be eating. So I do have some basic tips to go away from. Make sure you eat enough vegetables. The more vegetables you eat, they're low in calories, but you'll get a lot of fiber and a lot of value in micronutrients out of them. Try and eat some red meat for iron. Your protein source doesn't really matter, so protein shakes are fine. And then if you're really serious about cutting weight, I would say cut alcohol completely if you can. If you do have any kind of really strict dietary requirements, or you're living with an immunocompromised disease or something like that that requires certain types of foods to help you live your life, then go see your doctor or a registered dietitian first. If you're part of the general population and none of this applies to you, I would still suggest seeing a GP before you start, because we should all have regular physicals and regular checkups. But you can start following these steps now, which again, any coach will tell you to go do. Next, we're going to move on to programs, and these are probably the easiest part out of anything in your fitness journey. Generative AI chat prompts are pretty good at generating programs, and we're going to give this a try together now. So here I am on Gemini. I'm going to type in 3-day weights program, targeting full body. Each session no more than an hour. Progressive overload for 8 weeks. And we're going to let that load up and see what it gives us. Looking through this, it seems fine. It's what any gym gives you as a starter program. You get it to adjust for any injuries, or I would also suggest talking to a physio. Let's say if you've had a shoulder reconstruction and you're weak in that area. And then what I would do is I would take all of these exercises out and the program, put it into a spreadsheet or notes app, be consistent, get stronger, and track the results. Training isn't an issue really, unless you're sports specific or want to achieve a particular goal. If you don't know a particular movement, then there are a lot of guides for technique on YouTube. Oh, and the budgeting motif that we're going with. The more consistent you are with lifting weights, the more your assets are going to appreciate, which just means you get a nicer butt and arms. Lastly, what data and measurements should you be tracking? So I like weight as a basic. Wake up in the morning, shit shower, shave, jump on the scales, and do this a couple of times a week. Next is grab yourself a cloth measuring tape and take some measurements around your body to see how your body changes as you go through this journey. I actually have a video on my YouTube that goes through on how to do this yourself. Now, I do this next one for my clients, but we actually track their emotional and mental state over the week. I do this because it informs me whether we should be changing their calories or intensity of program if we're moving into another phase, and because the fitness journey itself isn't just about eating and training, it's holistic with everything in life. And the last tip that I would give is take progress photos. So I do this from the front, the side, and the back, and I post this on a story on my Instagram. Now, you don't have to be as public as me, just keep this in an album on your phone, but it is really valuable when you're feeling demotivated to actually pull up the photos from 3 months ago and see how much progress you've actually made. And that's it. This is the quick beginner's guide to make yourself a better person holistically with training, nutrition, how you will feel about yourself, and you don't need anyone to help you get there. You can do this all on your own. But I get it. If you do want some more guidance and someone to hold your hand and step you through some more of this, no matter how long that journey is you take, then you can put your email address in the box below and have a chat with me. I guarantee that I'll be cheaper than the other coaches out there, and you'll get the same no bullshit approach that I'm showing you right here to achieve your goals. Otherwise, crack on, and I'll see you around.